Branding raises the value of your business so you can charge more now and sell it for more later. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how to become more profitable and raise the value of your company at the same time. Simply by building my brand while I was building my business allowed me to increase my profitability. I was able to raise my prices on the same work I had already been doing. I had started earning twice what I was earning before I started building my brand. And in fact, a business attorney I know told me, here's a guy who buys and sells businesses all the time. This is what he does. He told me this. He said, Rob, all things being equal, a company with a strong, solid brand will always fetch more money when sold than a company that doesn't have a strong brand. Hey everybody, I'm Rob Genovese from Unleash My Beast brand, where I teach you how to be a brander and build a brand. I want to thank everyone in the community for being a part of what we're achieving. If you're not yet a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you don't miss a single video. New videos are coming out every Tuesday and Friday. The problem business owners face is they're really just operating on very thin profit margins. A lot of business work this way. So what they need to do is they need to increase their volume in order to make more money. Now here's the challenge with that. If you're operating on thin profit margins, it's like skating on thin ice. And if you don't keep that pipeline full of business, you're not really going to be able to sustain it unless you do a lot of volume. And then if you do a lot of volume, that's even very hard to sustain, because how long can you keep grinding it out? Day after day, month after month, year after year, before you burn out, before you crash, before it just falls to pieces. But in fact, this is what so many businesses do. A business owner will work his entire life, doing as much work as he can, putting in as many hours as he can to make up for the low profit margins, doing lots of volume, and then work his whole life, and then at the end, because he never thought about building a brand along the way, ends up having to basically, instead of selling the business, because if he sells it, he's not going to get much for it, a lot of business owners know this and they simply lock the door and walk away. Now, it makes sense to me that if you're going to work for 30, 40 years building a business, don't you want to sell it one day and walk away with a big fat check? The fact is, most business owners won't be able to sell it for much. Really, they sell it for what they can get for the equipment that they have on hand, and that's it. But contrast that when you build a strong brand. Essentially what you're doing when you build a strong brand is you are raising trust in the minds of your audience, and at the same time you are lowering risk. Now here's the beauty of that. Most people think the lowest price wins the business, and nothing could be further from the truth, because otherwise people wouldn't pay twice as much for Starbucks, people wouldn't buy Bentleys, people wouldn't buy all these exotic things, Rolex watches. They wouldn't be spending money on these things if lowest cost was the only factor. What's really happening is people don't go for the lowest price, they go for the lowest risk. They want to know if they're going to fork over their hard-earned money, that they're not going to get burned somehow, that they're not going to get stuck with a piece of junk or a process that doesn't work, or just no results for what they put their money towards. So people will pay a little bit more money, sometimes a lot more money, if risk is lowered. And of course the other side of that is the trust factor. Everybody's after trust. If you have high trust with your audience, well, they will follow you. You can put out new products, you can offer new things, and they will line up in order to purchase from you, because you've proved in the past that you are worthy of their business very quickly. They're not so skeptical. Again, trust is high, risk is lowered. That's what a strong brand does. Now, what branding involves is identifying that core brand. Now, people may think that a brand is bestowed upon a company by some creative agency who has a stroke of genius and says, you are this, and nothing could be further from the truth. A brand is at the core of who you are. If you're the owner of the business, the builder of the business, the driver of the business, you are The brand, you are the one who's building it. It comes from inside you and it's amplified through you. So what branding does is it actually identifies what's at the core of that brand. What's that unique differentiating factor? What separates you from the competition? Branding also includes who's that ideal client. You'll want to check out my video about how to attract more ideal clients. We're going to talk more about that on that video, so don't miss that one. But attracting that ideal client is very important. It's that super fan who loves what you do, who loves what you stand for, who buys from you, who is happy with the entire process, with the product, and they refer you to more and more people like them. That basically kicks in a referral machine for you, and isn't that what we want? An endless flow of super fans who love us and love what we do. Another part of a brand is the branded process. When you have a process that is set, that it's repeatable, that it gets successful results every time it's implemented, that again raises trust in people's minds. So when they see that your brand has a process that is locked down, that is branded, that you can call your own, again, trust is raised and they're more likely to trust their money with you. In fact, what you're doing is you're creating a repeatable recipe of success. And through all this, just repeating it over and over and over again, amplifying and strengthening your brand with every exposure to your brand, you are in essence creating that endless flow of clients who love you. So it's important to develop that brand strategy. Find out what that core brand is. Find out what makes you different. And here's a hint, it's not outstanding customer satisfaction, or you've been in business for 30 years, or nobody cares about our clients more than us. This is just more of the same. It should be true. Those things should be true about your company, but they're not a point of differentiation. So you've got to find out what truly makes you different. Again, identify that ideal client and speak to them. Use the words, use the visuals in order to relate to them better. It's about making a connection and drawing them to you. And then through all your marketing channels, you're going to want to amplify that brand in a cohesive manner, a consistency of visual and tone and personality and words. It's all consistent across all channels so that every exposure is one that is recognizable. It becomes familiar to the audience and you get burned into their brain as the brand of choice. And hey, if you're getting value from this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you don't miss another one. Now, Apple's a prime example of this. Now, of course, Apple is this global behemoth brand, but you got to think about it because not all global brands have the strong brand that Apple has. Think about this. Apple is one of those few companies that they came out with a product and nobody even saw it before. And they lined up around the block the night before it was being released in the stores. People were camping out on the sidewalks just to be one of the first to own the iPhone. I mean, that is brand loyalty. Now, Apple delivers on its promise. So you've got to have a quality product, you've got to have a quality service. That's implied. But when you have a strong brand and people line up around the block to get it, you know you've got something really special there. And that's what you're going for. You become the standout choice that people won't go anywhere else but you. Now, in case you haven't gotten the idea, branding isn't just a good idea. It's imperative for every business. And it's imperative for every small business as well. If you're a small business, a local business, you're thinking, well, I'm not one of the big guys, I don't need to brand. Wrong! Everybody needs to brand. Every person needs to brand. If you have a job, you need to brand because you want to differentiate yourself from the guy who's chasing you to get the same promotion you're going for. Branding raises profitability. It allows you to raise your rates. Branding increases the value of the company. Branding is a long-term strategy. It increases the value of the company over time. It allows you to sell the company for more one day. It creates such a brand loyalty that people won't go anywhere else. They will only buy from a strong brand and a brand they relate to and a brand they trust. You lower risk, you increase trust, and people will come to you and go nowhere else. And because they go nowhere else, they're so happy, they are going to refer you to other people. They're going to send people to your business. It kicks off a referral machine that just keeps feeding on itself. And guess what? You gain some momentum with a referral machine. You will just have a much more effective marketing strategy. Your dollars will go farther because the brand will do the heavy lifting for you. So getting a brand is imperative. You establish it, you build it over time, and over time, it will pay you back in multiples. So if you got value out of this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, get notified when new videos come out. They're coming out every Tuesday and Friday. And check out some of the other videos you see here for more great insights on branding. If you're learning something here today, go ahead and hit that like button, pop some comments down below, questions, comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.